you have been involved in arguably one of the largest M&A transactions, at least for the year, and maybe the largest cement transaction in a really long time. Tell us a bit about that, if you will, if you can, whatever you can. And how do you see M&A appetite, one, in cement, because that's the buzzword, but even otherwise, how do you see the M&A appetite in the country? If private equity investors are here looking for opportunities, if there are a bunch of startups who've reached a particular size looking for investors, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so when we look at the M&A space, I think both strategic investors, and these are people from global boardrooms, India is very much in the center of the table in terms of having conversations, organic, inorganic, and the large opportunity that this market presents. So that's even as they are looking from their vantage point at having been over dependent on one region or one geography in terms of supply chains, India offers a viable alternative and a scale-based alternative. A lot of ASEAN has probably taken the early lead, but there are scale issues in many of these markets. India offers thoughtful PLI programs that are being put together one by one, and this is not going to be instant gratification. It's going to, PLI will take time. Boardrooms think deliberately, think over a long term before they make an organic or a inorganic move to grow into a market. And so we continue to see that from a strategics. The private equity space, even as they have invested in the past in different disruptive business models, taken them to near public spaces, there is increased interest in multiple sectors from the private equity players in larger and control-oriented transactions. So that is going to be, at least in the foreseeable future, a set of transactions that's going to drive, transactions in the M&A space. So both from the strategic space and from the private equity players who are looking for financial sponsor transactions where they can take control, larger transactions, we continue to see activity across sectors: healthcare, chemicals, specialty chemicals, technology, new infrastructure. So all of that continues to see a fair bit of interest. So that's on the M&A space. And you talked about cement.
Because you are involved in such an important
transaction. Cement is one of those building blocks for government capex, as is steel. Steel has also seen a lot of capacity. It was taking old capacities that were in NCLT, turning them into productive capacities, consolidating and adding capacities there. But cement, steel, metals, all of these areas, just given that the government is the primary driver of GDP, public expenditure is the primary driver of GDP at this point in time, these sectors will continue to add capacities. And we've seen huge capacity additions being announced in cement by pretty much the large 3 or 4 players. And so that will continue to drive growth. Steel, again, capacity is getting added in different forms. Something like the Nal Se Jal project creates so much demand for steel pipes. So each of these projects have linkages and externalities that create capacity addition.